No one expects their children to die before them, but to have two of your three children murdered in one night is something incomprehensible. Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. My name is Melvis and this is Sad Reality. If you are clicking on my channel for the very first time, you are welcome, and just so you know, I bring to you weekly uploads on true crime stories. If that sounds like your kind of thing, you are in the right place, because that is all I do here. Why not subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you will be notified. And for my returning subscribers, you all know you have a very special place in my heart. Thank you all. Without taking much of your time, let's dive into today's story. We shall be looking at the tragic case of Henry Bieber and her younger sister, Nicole Smallman. We are traveling to London. Today's crime takes place in the London Park. 6th of June 2020 was a kind of bizarre year for the whole world. The whole world was talking about the coronavirus, and social distancing was a song of the day. People were never allowed to gather like multiple people in one location. This was the reason why Henry Bieber decided to celebrate her birthday party, her 46th birthday, in an open park. She decided to call few of her friends to join her in the London Park so they could celebrate her 46th birthday. This was on the 6th of June 2020. The group had begun celebrating and it was going into the dark hours of the day. The friends of Nicole and Bieber decided to go back to their respective homes because it was getting late. So when they left, Nicole, the younger sister, and Bieber, Henry, the elder sister, who was actually celebrating the birthday, it was her 46th birthday, decided to cheer around, and she said that these two love each other so dearly. They were so fond of each other, even though the age difference between the two sisters was 20, because Nicole was 27 years old and Henry was 46 years old. So you can see that the gap between these two was so wide, like 19 to 20 years, but they both love each other so dearly. So when they invited those friends that they had invited to spend time with them had left for the night, the two decided to chill, hang and have time together, because they were not living together. They were living in their respective places. So this was kind of a means for them to join, to have time and hang around each other. Just after midnight, we are on the 7th because the birthday was on the 6th. So just after midnight, these two ladies met their doom. They were viciously attacked by a random man. At this point, it was not known whoever had committed a heinous crime. These two women were stabbed. Immediately their friends left, and Bieber Henry was stabbed 8 times, and Nicole, who was a younger sister, has been stabbed 24 times, and they died instantly. They died even before their attacker could leave the scene, and that is when the attacker had to drag the two dead bodies and like into where it was not going, in the just still in the park, but not far from where they were killed, but the corpses were not visible. So before the attack, Nicole had been talking with her boyfriend, a boyfriend that she has been dating for the past 7 years. They were so fond of each other. So Nicole had been talking with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend suddenly realized that the chat has stopped, and he thought because Nicole had said they are having time together, that every other person had left, but she was having time with her elder sister Henry. So they are just, so when the boyfriend wasn't getting any responses to the message, he really didn't take it serious, but he was kind of in panic when the flatmate of Nicole told her boyfriend that Nicole didn't come back that night. So that was raised a kind of alarm, and the boyfriend had to go to their mother's house, Miss Nina Smallman, to tell her that they didn't like make it home after the party last night. The woman, their mother, immediately reported the case to the police, but it is said that the police didn't really do something immediately, because we are now into 12 hours after communication with the two ladies ceased. No social media activities, nothing. Their phones are not going through, they are not online, they are not accessing any of their social media accounts. So this was a reason to be like for their mother to be in panic, because she said her daughters have never, like, it is unheard, they have never done something like that. They are not used to disappearing and appearing, unlike some people that. So but the police didn't take this serious. They were not doing anything at the time. So the boyfriend took it upon himself and went back to the park and began searching, looking for clues until he could identify the bloody knives that were used in stabbing the two ladies. And not where from, like, where he got the knife, he discovered the two bodies, and immediately the police were called. It is like the police were heavily criticized for this, because they really did nothing, because these women were discovered only 36 hours later after they got missing. So when the bodies were discovered, the knives were there. We are in London. The knives were there, and a lot of forensic exercise was done. There was a foreign blood, like there was a DNA on the corpses that did not belong to the girls, and there was equally a DNA on the knives that was used to kill the ladies. So these knives were taken for analysis, and sooner there was a lead. The police were led to a 19-year-old Danya Hussein. Danya Hussein was a 19-year-old boy, and when the police, it was not really just the forensic evidence. They had to watch the CCTV footage of the park, and it was seen that same night, Danya Hussein has been coming, like he was in the park before and came back later wearing gloves and with other stuffs, that he holding whatever he had that he had used in murdering these two ladies. So Hussein was immediately arrested and back in his father's apartment, because he was living, his father's house was not far from the park. Like the park where he committed these murders, the father's house was very close to the park. So that is when they visited and seen that Hussein has been like browsing through occultic sites and demonic sites. That is where he made the pledge with the devil that he was going to, with a particular demon, that he was going to be sacrificing 6 women after 6 months, so long as he will never be caught by the police. And if he gets to win the 31 million pounds jackpot lottery he played, he was going to be sacrificing. This note was found on Hussein's table. He has written it in handwritten and signed it with his blood. That is the pact he has made with the devil. So he was going to be killing after 6 months 6 ladies, for long as he will never be caught, and so long as he's strong enough to do that, in exchange of winning the 31 million pounds jackpot lottery. That was enough evidence to, like, for the police to get hold of Hussein. So he was immediately arrested and charged to court. Thankfully, Nicole and Henry were her first victims. He had just begun his killing spree. So seeing Nicole and Henry at the park that night, he's just using one stone to shoot 2 birds. So it was easy for him to like reduce the count to take the count to 2, and just 4 will be left, and he's going to have his rest. And after 6 months, he's going to do that again, so as to keep his deal with the demon he has pledged to be sacrificing women to. This was really, really ridiculous. I don't know. It is really, really something very difficult to digest. Well, earlier this year, Hussein was found guilty of all charges. He was found guilty of double counts of murder, and he was given life in prison because he was 19 at the time, and he was diagnosed with some kind of medical issues. Like autism was one. I don't know. The medical issues are there, but it was determined that he was fit to stand trial because he was just vicious and so ambitious that he searched into sites to look for witchcraft was not something that they could have just said he was mentally ill. No, he brought it upon himself. So Hussein was handed a life sentence with the eligibility of parole only after 35 years. So Hussein can begin to think of appealing his case when he will be 59 years old. And that, lovely people, is a sad story of Henry Bieber and Nicole Smallman. I admire the courage of their mother. Their mother, being the first archdeacon, the first black archdeacon of the Church of England, really, she really, it was a bitter pill to swallow, but she absorbed the shock. She said in her impact statement on the day of the sentencing that losing her two lovely girls in one night was something that could shake her faith, but fortunately that was not the case. And she equally said she's very happy that her daughters have paid the price, so that no other parent should go through the horrible, the kind of horrific way, or the kind of horror her children went through before they died. So she knew that her daughters' lives have saved like a very a huge number of women that could have been murdered because of this ambitious or senseless killing of a young boy that would want to sell himself to the devil just to win what he calls a jackpot. So I really feel her pain. She's left with one child and the other two are gone. I feel for Nicole's boyfriend too. Her long-lasting relationship of 7 years, the guy is left by himself to mourn for her, for his lovely girlfriend. And Bieber Henry equally left behind. She had a daughter and a grandson. So the family, it was really a sad story. It is a sad story. They really didn't want nothing. They just wanted to go out and feel free. They just wanted to breathe the fresh air that the whole world had been dying to breathe. Like, we all know what was happening back in 2020. She was only respecting the rule of not keeping a party in her house. That is why she decided to celebrate her birthday party in the park. She really did nothing to deserve what befell them. Continue to stay safe, lovely people. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, as I'll be bringing you more stories on truth.